Well, hello there. In this video I'm going to demonstrate a couple of things I use for thermal soaring. The first thing is a little trick I use to stay in a local thermal, and the second thing is the post-flight analysis. Note though, this is not a real thermal soaring flight, and it was only made for demonstration purposes. Also note, this is not a thermal soaring tutorial video, and if you need one, then probably this is not the video you're looking for, okay? You've been warned. So, the first thing is a little trick I use to stay in a local thermal. I have patched INF, and now if I press a button on my transmitter, the flight controller remembers the current GPS coordinates and GPS altitude, and then it starts to display an additional OSD element on my HUD head-up display. And if I don't need it anymore, then I press another button on my transmitter, and that OSD element disappears, so that it doesn't clutter my HUD. You'll see that in the video. Let's wait a bit until it appears. There it is in the red circle. It shows me the direction, distance, and also altitude difference from the last saved point. Here I'm flying away from the point, then I turn and try to fly back to it. Check for yourself if I manage to hit the spot. Well, how do I use it? Well, I start climbing with the motor until I notice an unusually high climbing rate, say 3 meters per second instead of 1. Then I stop the motor and begin circling around, trying to find even a slight lift, something like half meter per second. If I don't find one, then I keep climbing with the motor. Otherwise, I mark the spot and start circling around, trying to find center of the lift. And if I succeed, then I keep circling up with the lift, constantly resetting the point. I think you got the idea, right? No, okay. Here I wanted to land already, but then I decided to do another test by marking a point while the plane was in a loitering loop. Theoretically, the plane should return to the same point in the sky over and over again, and the distance difference should be 0. Check for yourself if that actually happened. If I remember correctly, the minimal distance was 16 meters, but that's not my fault. That's how the loitering mode is implemented in INF. It should start around here. There it is. And you may have noticed that the OSD element looks pretty much like the INF's formation flying. And you'd be right, because I'm reusing that feature for good. You may also have noticed that when the OSD element appears, the altitude difference is not 0, it's 3 or even 4 meters. But it should be 0 because I'm flying in the altitude hold mode, and in this mode the altitude cannot change that fast. It's because INF uses so-called estimated altitude to calculate the difference in altitude, but the GPS altitude should be used instead. I have fixed it locally, and now it works perfectly fine for me. I was just too lazy to redo the flight. Sorry for that. Now the second thing I wanted to talk about is the post-flight analysis. First of all, it's good to have a altitude map of the flight like I do have in the lower right corner. It helps to quickly find places in the video where the lift starts. And you have that too, right? No, I know you don't. And even bored, well, Joshua wouldn't be able to tell you how to create one. I could. Not in this video though. Notice the GPS track on the left. I'll come to that later. And here I'm about to land. Also notice the flight time. It should be 4 minutes 17 seconds if I remember correctly. Let's wait for it. There, 4 minutes 17 seconds, yeah. Now, I also like to overlay GPS track onto a map to find places where the lift was, because usually lift was there for a reason. It could be a contrast area in the fields, it could be roofs or roads and so on. So that if I fly in the same area again, I would know where to look for thermals approximately. Approximately because, from my experience, even if I return to the same spot in the sky, say 5 minutes later, There is no guarantee that the thermal will be still there, waiting for me. It's because the wind direction or speed could change, thermal intensity could change because clouds could cover the sky and so on. But still, it's a good starting point. And for that I've written a little script that parses black box log files, and it fits the tool you are seeing currently with NMEA sentences, so that the GPS track is rendered in real time. And with the real time, I mean that n seconds later it shows exact GPS position where I was after n seconds of the flight. Which also would mean that if the flight duration was 4 minutes 17 seconds, then this tool should show exactly this time in the end. Check it for yourself if you want. Yeah, and I could change the map times if I want to, like it's shown right now. Well, I must also add that this is not a perfect tool for the job though, because first of all, it can only output new position once per second, while it is updated 20 times per second in the black box log files. Secondly, it is not possible to rewind to the places that I'm interested in, but at least I could tell this script to skip the first 10 seconds if I need to. There are other possibilities to do the same, of course. For example, some people are using Google Earth, and there are also some apps that could replay recorded flights. I have that app too, but I stopped using it because I have to connect my smartphone to the transmitter over the Bluetooth, and then I always forget to start the recording, you know. It's kind of one thing too much to care about. By the way, compare the GPS track this tool is rendering with the one from the telemetry overlay earlier in this video. It should be exactly the same, shouldn't it? And this is basically it. I will let it land though, so that you can check the flight time if you want. And if you like this video, you know what to do. If you don't like it, you know where to go. And have a good one.